Iran's air defenses never saw it coming. That was the point. Before Operation Epic Fury officially launched, F-22 Raptors were already repositioned to bases in Israel and across the Middle East, and Tehran had no answer for what was coming. When the operation began, America's most advanced stealth fighter entered Iranian airspace like a ghost, unseen, untracked, already locking onto targets. By the time Iran understood what was happening, 80% of its air defense network was gone. This is what the F-22 has done to Iran, and the full scope of it is only now becoming clear. To understand the F-22's role in Operation Epic Fury, it helps to separate it from the F-35, because both are stealth platforms, but they've been used differently. Think of the F-35 as the quarterback of the US air campaign. Loaded with advanced sensors, those jets have been directing the overall air operation, coordinating traffic, designating targets, and conducting strikes against Iran's most dangerous military infrastructure. The F-22 is something else. It is the air superiority specialist. The jet sent in specifically to smash Iran's defenses and dominate the skies so that everything else could operate freely underneath it. That mission has been executed with devastating efficiency. By March 30th, the Israel Defense Forces reported that approximately 80% of Iran's air defense systems had been destroyed. That figure directly corresponds to the first phase of Operation Epic Fury, the period when F-22s were operating at maximum strike capacity. For days, these jets flew through Iranian airspace completely undetected by the very defense networks they were dismantling. Radar stations were neutralized, missile batteries went offline, command nodes disappeared. Iran's integrated air defense system, built over decades, collapsed within the first week. The clearest proof of what the F-22 achieved is now visible in plain sight. The United States is currently flying B-52 Stratofortress bombers on overland missions inside Iran. Let that register. The B-52 is a massive, radar-visible aircraft designed in the 1950s. It is one of the easiest targets in the sky for any modern air defense system to detect and engage. The fact that B-52s are now operating freely over Iranian territory tells you everything you need to know about the condition of Iran's air defenses. If anything remained functional, no B-52 would be anywhere near Iranian airspace. The 80% destruction figure from Israel may actually be conservative. The F-22 made that environment possible. Now, having achieved air superiority, it has shifted roles. F-22s are no longer operating primarily in strike mode. They have moved into an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance function. The same support role the F-35 filled in the operation's early phase. These jets are flying continuously through Iranian airspace, collecting targeting data with their advanced sensor suites, and transmitting that information in real time to older, non-stealth platforms. F-16, B-52, and other airframes that lack the ability to safely penetrate defended airspace on their own. The F-22 finds the target. It maps the corridor. Then it passes the coordinates to another aircraft, which delivers the strike. While the Raptor moves on to the next sector. This is a layered air campaign architecture, and it only exists because air superiority was established so rapidly. For Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the psychological dimension of this is as damaging as the physical destruction. The IRGC knows F-22s are in the air above them. It cannot find them, it cannot track them, it cannot predict where the next targeting pass will come from. And it has already paid an enormous price for that inability. According to Euronews, at least 70 senior Iranian regime officials had been eliminated by March 21. Among them, Mohammad Pakpour, Commander-in-Chief of the IRGC, removed on the first day of Operation Epic Fury, the precise period of maximum F-22 strike activity. IRGC spokesperson Ali Mohammed Naini, former Deputy Coordinator Ali Hashemi, Senior Commander of the IRGC Aerospace Force Esmail Degan, multiple officers from the Lebanon and Palestine branches of the IRGC. Did F-22s fire the missiles that took these figures out directly? That cannot be confirmed. What is certain is that they were feeding targeting intelligence to the aircraft that did. Over 11,000 targets had been struck by March 29th. That number will rise. To understand why Iran was so completely unprepared for this, you need to go back to 2013. That year, an Iranian Su-25, one of the better aircraft in Iran's inventory, despite being a Soviet-era design, attempted to intercept a US MQ-1 Predator drone operating in international airspace. The intercept failed, but it was enough to prompt Washington to send a message. The US responded by deploying F-22s as drone escorts. What happened next became one of the most humiliating chapters in Iran's aerial history. US Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Sutterfield, piloting an F-22, detected a pair of Iranian F-4 Phantoms approaching his position. The Iranian pilots never detected him. Sutterfield flew his Raptor directly underneath the incoming jets, held position, then pulled up alongside them. His message to the Iranian pilots was brief: "You really ought to go home." They turned and left. If the IRGC had absorbed that lesson in 2013, it would have understood exactly what was coming in 2026. It didn't. The technical specifications explain why no counter was ever possible. The F-22 can reach Mach 2 using supercruise capability, meaning it sustains supersonic speeds without engaging afterburners that would generate a detectable heat signature. Its operational range exceeds 1,850 miles, allowing multiple passes over target areas before returning to base. The M61 A2 20mm cannon carries 480 rounds capable of shredding drones and light structures at close range. Internal weapons bays carry AIM-9 infrared air-to-air missiles and AIM-120 for air engagements, though Iran's aging air force has been effectively absent from the operation. For ground targets, the Raptor deploys GBU-39B small-diameter bombs, 250-pound precision munitions, precise enough to strike individual targets, while allowing the aircraft to engage multiple objectives per sortie without breaking stealth. When heavier impact is needed, GBU-32 Joint Direct Attack munitions, weighing 1,000 pounds each, are available. All of this is unclassified. The US Air Force published these specifications openly. Tehran had access to every one of these numbers. It still was not ready. Now the operation enters its next phase, and F-22s will be at the center of it. According to a March 30th Al Jazeera report, citing unnamed US Department of Defense officials, the Pentagon is preparing ground raids targeting Karg Island. This single island processes 90% of Iran's crude oil exports. The strategic logic is direct. Seize Iran's primary revenue source, and you create the economic pressure needed to force the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, the passage through which 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas flows daily. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit is already in theater aboard USS Tripoli. The 11th MEU is following. Paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division bring the forward assault force to approximately 6,000 elite troops, backed by the roughly 50,000 US personnel already positioned at bases across the region. For those ground forces, F-22s are the difference between a viable operation and a catastrophic exposure. Troops holding Karg Island will be within range of Iranian missile systems positioned along the Strait of Hormuz coast. Without continuous air cover, they become fixed targets. F-22s provide the answer, conducting precision strikes against Karg's remaining military infrastructure and, critically, suppressing coastal missile launch sites before and during any ground operation. Using GBU-39 precision munitions, F-22s can strike hardened coastal targets, missile batteries, ammunition stockpiles, radar installations that were partially degraded by the 5,000-pound bunker-busting strikes conducted in mid-March. The Raptor's stealth means Iran's remaining coastal air defenses have no reliable way to intercept it. An IRGC soldier with a man-portable air defense system has no realistic prospect of engaging an aircraft that arrives, fires, and exits before the launch sequence can even begin. Beyond Karg, there is one more scenario now openly discussed in Washington. President Trump has threatened strikes against Iran's water desalination plants. The Associated Press has reported what that could mean across the region. Trump threatened Iran's desalination plants, Karg Island, and other vital infrastructure if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened. Iranian reservoirs are currently sitting at approximately 10% of their maximum capacity, the fifth consecutive year of extreme drought. Desalination plants are not military assets. Targeting them creates a civilian water crisis, which is precisely the outcome Trump has said he wants to avoid. He has repeatedly called on the Iranian people to reclaim their country from the regime. But the threat remains on the table. And if that order comes, F-22s will be the platform capable of penetrating whatever air defense Iran has concentrated around those facilities. The trajectory is set. If Karg falls and economic leverage is established, desalination plants likely stay untouched. If the ground operation bogs down or Iran refuses to negotiate, the options harden. Either way, the F-22 leads. It has been the decisive aerial asset of Operation Epic Fury from the first hour. That is not going to change. Tehran had 13 years to learn from a single F-22 flying underneath its jets in international airspace. It did not listen. Now the lesson is being delivered at scale, across 11,000 targets, across a shattered air defense network, across the corridors above a strait the world cannot afford to keep closed.